Hello, all, and welcome to another sector review. As we like to say, Sundays are for sectors. And without further ado, that's what we're about to get into. As we know, last week was a jam packed week with economic data that swayed the market back and forth, ending the week red. This week, we'll be focusing on the 5 day, the 1 week, the 2 week, the 3 week, the 5 week, the 6 week, and the 10 week that is opening on Monday, August the 4th. So let's get into it. First, we're going to start with the VIX. So as we know with the VIX on the daily, I had a daily trend line that I drew here that's been holding for 3 months. So if you look here on the monthly, it had been holding since May the 1st. And then on August the 1st, we broke through that trend line and now we're green on the monthly. Just green on VIX period. So on the daily, bullish day for VIX, 5 day of course, bullish 5 day. Weekly, we went outside week, bullish outside week. Same for the 2 weeks, so we may possibly get a 2-2 continuation on the weekly and the 2 week. 3 week, 3 week was a failed to down. It failed to stay down, so it started off bearish and we pushed bullish on the 3 week, closing that one out. 5 week, same. 6 week, we closed as a hammer on the 6 week. And on the 10 week, we closed as a hammer as well. And I've already showed what the month looked like. So with that being said, we're looking pretty bullish for the VIX, which means that the overall market is still looking pretty bearish. Anything can happen. We still have some big earnings this week. Earnings season is still upon us, so check out your earnings calendar to see if any of your stocks will be having earnings this week. So, targets that I have for the VIX, let's see. I have 2251 as first target, and then I have a 2562 where there's some equal highs here that we can come take, and then looks like we'll probably most likely retrace back down. So 2251, 2562 for the VIX. SPY. SPY on the day closed as a 3-2 down. We gapped down real good here. We found some support here and we didn't sweep these lows here at 618. That would have been great. Since we didn't sweep those lows, there is a chance that we can come into next week and get those lows, as well as touch the 3 and 6 month open at 618 and possibly come and get the previous month low at 615. If we do not defend this 618, once we come sweep here, then look for those other two price targets for the downside. We do have a gap up here, so price could come and fill this gap or potentially fill halfway of the gap and then retrace back down. Let's look on the weekly. On the weekly, we closed as a bearish 3 outside, bearish 3. nice displacement candle down. We could be looking for a 3-2 continuation down. Like I said, looking to, if we cannot hold 618 from here, then we will be looking for more downside. Me personally, as I get close, on the higher time frames, the higher I go, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe not this week, or it could be this week. I wouldn't be surprised if we touch 610 before going back up. That's just me. 2 week, failed 2 up on a 2 week. This is, I guess, can be considered as a shooter. You want to be a 2 week participant. You can take the previous month's high at 619.22 as your entry, if you would like, and take it to 618 or possibly 613 for your 2 week targets. 3 week, same, failed 2 up, looking like a shooter. Same for the 5 week. 6 week. 6 week looks a little bit more bullish, but I'm still anticipating the pullback. Same for the 10 week, and the monthly is starting off inside. I guess you can call this a hammer for now. Yeah, an inside hammer. So if we can continue to hold where we are from here from SPY, then we could be pushing up. If not, then downside, I'm looking to 610. Upside targets, I probably wouldn't be bullish on the market until we get back above 626. I like that. 626 or 627. Yes, which is equivalent to our SPY. ES on the daily. We have our burning formation. We have our burning formation here, and we started to reject this past Monday. Our high was on Thursday, giving us 64.68. I thought we would get to 65, but we did not, and we started to reject here. So there's a 3-2 down on the daily. The weekly closed as an outside 3. Let me see, I have these lines here are marked because I was trying to see the ES sweep these lows. So ES did sweep these lows here for July the 14th. It swept. Yes, so those lows are swept. So if ES would want to potentially just hold this here as support and come back up, this could be a reason why lows were swept. We are at a broadening formation that I have. It's a daily broadening formation, but as I'm saying, this displacement candle down on the weekly, how we ended this 2 week 3. I'm anticipating the 3-2 down. 3 week shooter failed 2 up on the 3 week, nasty rejection all the way back down. 5 week. The 5 week is still green, but it is a shooter on the 5 week. So looking for continuation down. 6 week still looks bullish. We closed right below this low here. This high here. So that's what I'm saying. At least for the start of next week, looking bearish. 10 week, we are still looking bullish, but closed right below these 2 highs here. And for the month of August, we are opening up inside. Not quite a hammer for ES. This is more inside bearish, not giving much hope. So we lose where we are. We can see 622.27 and possibly even lower than that, of course. NQ. Let's see how tech held up. So NQ on the daily, you want to draw your broad information. I didn't draw this one because I wanted to draw it for you guys. I seen some people having some issues with drawing their broad information. So you want to take your highest point here. So here's that one. We have it here, and then you take your next highest point, which would be here. And this is how you draw your broad information. I don't know where this line just came from. We don't want that. So I'll do it again. This is your daily. Here's your daily highest high on your daily. So you took your two highest high, and then you draw it to your next highest high. Your immediately next highest high in here. So here's your burn information on the daily. So I'll mark it. Information daily, and your bottom, your most recent low to your most previous low. And that is how you draw your burn information. And this is for your daily. When you go to your weekly, same thing. You draw it from your high. You take your high. And then you will take your next highest high. So that would be here. And you will mark it yellow. I'm up. Have them color coded. Okay. So, for NQ, we are on the weekly. Yeah, we close as a bearish candle on the weekly, so we're looking for your 3-2 down. NQ, NQ sweet. NQ swept the July. NQ did sweep the July low and closed back above it, which also they also closed back above the 3 and the 6 month open here. So just like ES, which I doubt, if they want to use this as a support and a reversal point, or even a point to just go back up and test some upside and only to reverse back down. This is very possible, and this is what I'm thinking is going to happen if we don't continue from where we are and just continue down. We may see some retracement back up before going back down. The rest of again, the 3, you're looking for 3-2 down on the 2 week. We're looking for a 3-2. Well, this is not a 3. We're looking for a 2-2 continuation. Same setup as ES. Y'all know how this goes. Shooter on the 5 week, 6 week, 10 week. Still looking bullish. So all of this really could be a deep retracement, judging off the higher time frames, but we play what we see. Right now the monthly is inside, giving inside bearish, very little wick. So like I said, we could come and sweep these monthly lows and get ready to retrace back up. Qs. Qs on the daily, same thing. We close as a 3-2 down on the daily. These lows were swept as well. So I'm thinking SPY is the only one that didn't sweep the lows. Somebody didn't sweep. Yeah, SPY so far. Nope. Qs didn't either. We tapped them but did not sweep. So close but no cigar. So the lows are not swept on the Qs. We have this gap here, but as we know, we can come into the gap and then retrace back down and come take down all of this. So this is pretty much what I'm anticipating for the week. If we go to the weekly candle close as an outside bearish. 2 week, same setups. 5 week, 6 week, 10 week, and for the Qs monthly, pretty sure it's inside as well. It has a little bit more of a week, but I'm willing to bet we're coming back down. So it's a mage. It's a mage on daily. So it's a mage on the daily. I'm gonna draw your burn information. Here's your top. Here's your highest point on the daily. To your next highest point on the daily. You can use this one, or you can use this one. If you have an indicator that helps you see where your swing highs and lows are, that will be helpful to mark your burning formation, because you pretty much just mark them from your swing highs and your swing lows. So this is our daily burning formation for the top, and then we can mark this one for the bottom. Okay, so here we are here. SMH is in this range. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this before. Anytime, look, watch this. If the candlesticks is making it hard for you to figure out where your market structure is or where we are in a range, switch to a line graph. You go down, tap line. So this helps me. As you can see, I toggle from candle to line graph anytime I'm feeling like, or I need to actually quote unquote see where we are. I hit the line graph, no questions asked. So as you can see, we have bounced off this burning formation. We have a nice rejection at the end of the day here, closing back above these previous bearish price targets that I had from last week. So if we go to the weekly, we still close as a bearish outside candle. If you can see, we touched the outside candle touched from top to the bottom of the burning formation. We are still within this range. We could possibly open up. Well, SMH looks like it's gonna open up inside. If there's no news over the weekend that a gap was down, SMH, it looks like it'll potentially open up on the inside of this weekly candle. 2 week is a fail to. 3 week is also a fail to shooter, fail to up. 5 week. When you get to 5 week, your 5 week is still bullish. We are still above these highs at 82.83.95. That's where we closed at, and the highs are at 283.08. If we lose that, most likely we're gonna start coming down and losing all of this. 6 week. 6 week is still looking bullish, but like I say, we're looking for a pullback. I believe if you double check and look at the earnings calendar, there are some tech and semiconductors on that list that have earnings coming up, so this could hold. Semis doesn't look as weak as the rest of the general market, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a quick pullback and then continue in the direction that semis was already going due to some of the stocks that have earnings. 10 week, see, 10 week is still bullish and we're still over this breaker structure highs. The monthly is inside. We start getting back above 286. We start getting back above 286, which is previous day, which would be previous day. I would like it. So back above 286, between 287, I like SMH for upside. XLB on a daily closed as, man, XLB had a rough week. It just gap down from gap down from gap down from gap down. So now here we are on XLB. It hammered off the daily, so it has it looks like it's found support. Maybe because this gap is here, I wouldn't be bullish above XLB until over 87.63, because it could come take this gap and, like everything else, have a nice pop up and then come back down. I'm looking for XLB to, if it does continue downward or if it does pop and come back down, I'm looking to sweep to 84.41, come and take out the rest of these lows here. You can see them here. I am bearish if it loses 86.02. So we get below, we close at 86.72, we lose 86.02. I'm bearish. Looking at the rest of the candles that'll be opening, so if we're looking at the weekly, displacement down on the weekly, look at that. We looking like we could just come sweep this and just with ease. 2 week, bearish 2 week, there was a 3, failed 2 up, now we're 2 down. So XLB looks really weak. 3-1, we're inside, bearish 3 week, failed to shooter on the 5 week, 6 week, shooter on the 6 week, 10 week, shooter on the 10 week. So this is looking pretty weak. I hate to see, and the monthly is I do. Look at the monthly. We closed as a failed to shooter on the monthly, and we backed down already for this month. So if you like XLB puts, then this might be good for you, because this looks like there's more to go. XLC, let's see what XLC has. XLC, we gap down. There's a 2-2 on 2-2 rev on the daily. We wicked right at previous month low at 105.57. This has been, if you remember this put entry from last week, we had this here, and then our price target was 102. it is actually holding our put entry as support here. It's done it a couple of times. So do we get the support here, or do we continue down and target 105, and then after 105 the gap at 104.57, there's a gap here, and the completion of the gap is at 103.87. I know we're taught, shout out to 8X, I know we're taught to mark the gap body candles and then adjust. For me, I just mark the body candles. I do the mental adjusting in my, I do mental adjusting. For you, you will adjust to the wick. If you want to adjust, that's how you adjust. Body candle for gap, and then adjust for the wick. So if you're adjusting for the wick, you would have 104.41. If you're not adjusting for the wick, like I am, just leaving it there and just taking a mental note where the wick is, 104.58 is for us. So we're looking to target this gap on the weekly. 2 down on the week, looking for a 2-2 continuation to clean some of this up. Like I said, if you look at the previous weeks, 105.57 has been support. So don't be surprised if XLC decides to reverse from here. Same for the 2 week. One fell, 2 up on the 2 week. This is a shooter on the 2 week, so I'm thinking bearish. If we lose this, this is our target. These are our targets. 5 week, fell 2 on the 5 week, 6 week. We are still a bullish 6 week. And if you can see on the 6 week, the high lines up with 105.55. So that is your entry. You lose that, or that is your signal to go short. Week still bullish. And the monthly, we gap down from a fail to up, and we're inside on the monthly. You can see the monthly is holding at 105.57. We lose it, target 104.58 to 103.89. XLE. For XLE, here we are. Y'all know how I feel about XLE. XLE on the daily, we're bearish on the daily. 2-2 continuation on the day. Weekly closed as a failed 2 up on the weekly. 2 week. Shooting on the 2 week. 3 week. Inside 3 week, we came in. See, you see how y'all see how oil do? It'll give you this nice big green bullish candle, and you like, alright, we going up. Only for you to retrace half the gains, then pushing back up, then retrace half the gains again, and yeah, and now we're here. So if you've never heard me say it before, I personally feel like oil is for day trading. Swing at your own risk for oil. That's all I can say. I wouldn't particularly swing for oil. Too much back and forth. You see these wicks? Too much back and forth. It'll give you the gains, but it's gonna take them right back. It'll give you the gains, but it's gonna take them right back. So swing oil at your own risk. 6 week, one fell 2 up on the 6 week. 10 week, we are 3-1 on a 10 week. And on the monthly, we are an inside month. So I am I am personally bearish below 86.80. So we get below 86.80. Let's see where it is. If we stay below, if we stay below 86.80, I'm bearish on gold. Anything above 86.80, we start pushing above. Cause see, here's previous day's high, which will change, but 50% of the previous month here, 86.80. So we get back above here, we start retracing this red. I'll start taking oil a little bit serious for a bullish day trade. If not, then I can see us coming down and taking the rest of the coming to take the 3 and 6 month open at 84.94, and even possibly coming down and sweeping these lows at 84.16 on oil. XLF, man, XLF on the daily. Okay, so I was still bullish on XLF until we gap down. So we gap down, we have this gap down, but we also have this support here where we close. That support, we close back above the previous month's low, which was at 51.33. We swept this low here and came back up. So I would like to mark my burning formation from here to here for the low on the daily, and then for the high from there. Then remember, from most recent high to the next highest high. So we mark them. Y'all know I usually date them too, but I was trying not to for the sake of time. But this is 8-4 broad information. And again, you can go here and go to your line graph and see this is the range that we're trading. So from broad information to broad information, we can come, like I said, we can come sweep and tap these lows. Go back. We can come sweep and tap these lows, or this could be where we retrace here. There is a gap here that can be filled on the daily. So you have a gap at 51.32 to 50.83. So we mark the gaps. So see that? So if this burn information doesn't hold, target 50.82 for XLF. It was something else I wanted to say about XLF. Oh yeah, now we're trading back under 2024 all-time highs, which is at 51.71. So we're back up under that. I want to go through the rest of the time frame. See this displacement down on the weekly. Nice strong 2 down on the weekly, so we're looking for a 2-2 continuation. Same for the 2 week. There's an outside 2 week, so 3-2 continuation to the downside. 3 week. 3 week. There's a failed 2 up on the 3 week. 5 week. Pretty sure it's the same. Yep, 5 week failed 2 up. A lot of these, if you are paying attention, failed 2 up and shooters. It's crazy. A lot of things really retraced pretty heavily. 10 week It's still bullish, but like I said, we're trading under 2024 all-time highs, and we're also trading under the previous week's high. The month is a gap down on the month, but the previous month closed. Oh yeah, we gapped down on the month, and we're at 2 down. It's a hammer, so like I said, if it holds this burning formation and support, then there's hope for XLF. So I'm keeping my eye on XLF. That's why I said in the beginning, man, I was still bullish on this. So we get back above those previous all-time highs. For me, I'm gonna start looking for some bullish plays on XLF. XLI on the daily. XLI on the daily as well closed as a hammer. Again, you want to draw your burning formation. Here's your burning formation high. Connected to your next high. Right here. Your burning formation low. Here's your low. Connected to your next highest low. You can do here, you can do here. That is up to your discretion. But this low has, whichever low to the left has to be higher than this low. This has to be the lowest, and then the next one has to be a higher low. I hope that makes sense. So it could have been this one, since it's higher than this one, but it's still low. Or it could have been this one because it's higher than this one and it's still low. Under your discretion. But that's how you draw your burning formations. And don't forget to mark them. So here we are in the range of XLI. See that? And as you can see, we've tapped here before and went bullish. So have we found support here, or do we just trade back up for a pop-up from here? Hold on. Are we trading back up from here and tapping 151.51 and then coming back down to 146.91? It's a possibility. So I would be bullish on XLI over 151.51. We can get rid of this. This was last week. Yeah, so if we get an aggressive close above 151.51, I'm bullish on XLI. The weekly, see, the weekly is outside week. So it could be potential 3-2 down. Same for the 2 week, failed 2 shooter. On the 3 week, 5 week, we're still bullish. Remember, XLI is at all-time high, so at any given moment, this can start to really give us a good pullback. So 6 weeks still pretty bullish. 10 week as well, and then the month is inside. So we have an inside month on that. Like I say, we can push up to 151.51, and then that will give us our discount to go back down and target the 140s. Tech. So here we are for XLK. I have some things marked. So XLK 3-2 down. We gap down on the daily. I'm looking for some sweeps. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think, like I said, earnings. Is tech earnings out the way? I'm not quite sure. I think there may be just a few, but if it isn't, I'm looking for 249. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Well, I should say if it is. I'm sorry. If majority of the tech earnings are out the way, I'm looking for this. There's a gap here, so we'll mark these. So we can target the gap to the downside. If this doesn't hold, if 255 doesn't hold, or if it does and we get a pop back up to 261, and then we shoot back down, then this will be great. A great short, a great pop and drop to 252. And then after 252 to 249. On the weekly, just like everything else, outside week. Man, last week I'm telling you, if you stayed on the sidelines or if you caught puts, kudos to you, because yeah, we took a good dive last week. At the end of the week, fell 2 shooter. 3 still bullish, but we are definitely a shooter on the 3 week. Fell 2 on the 4 week, but 4 week not open. My bad. 5 week bearish. Bullish still. 6 week bullish still. 10 week I'm sure bullish still. In the monthly inside, man. It's funny how this works, huh? Okay, XLP. Alright, for XLP, as you can see, baby, we is still in this range. Look at this. XLP gonna range it on out. I bet you through going out to 2026, we gonna stay stuck in this. I'm most likely. I'm willing to bet. So we closed as, let me get this out the way. We closed as a shooter on the daily. The weekly we closed as a 2-2 rev on the day to the downside. The 2 week we closed as a 2-2 continuation on the 2 week. 3 week 2-2 continuation on the 3 week. 5 week shooter on the 5 week bearish. Inside shooter on the 6 week. 10 week fell 2 up, and the month is inside. So as you can see, for XLP, we still trading in this range. Ain't nothing changed. For XLP, I'm indecisive. It's in this range, but I'm bearish, indecisive. If I had to just pick a direction, I'm picking bearish for XLP. Home Builders XHB. This is probably one of the only ones. I think it was this one and one more that I am bullish on. So if you could take a look at the daily, we did close as a outside bullish daily after being down 1, 2, 3 red candles. So this could be our potential CCRP here on the daily. The weekly closed inside. but it's holding very much. It's holding a strong support here at 100, and almost closed back above previous 50% of the previous week at 104, almost. So inside, so 2 week is a bullish 2 up. 3 week is a fail 2 up, so we are, that's kind of bearish to me for the 3 week. Mm-hmm. 5 week. Same for the 5 week. 5 week is a little bit more bullish. You can see that we did reject here at 108, so watch out for 108 as a possible rejection point again if we are continuing to be bullish. The 6 week is pretty bullish. The 10 week, possible CCRP on a 10 week, so we like that. And the monthly is an inside month, so look out for this to continue. Home builder still looks like it has, a little room. It has some room to grow. Even if it's from here to 108, that's almost a $5 move. So this would be great. So XLRE on the daily. Let's see what they've been up to. So XLRE, which is real estate. It was in a compression. We marked out the compression, and then guess what? It popped out of the compression, and then it found its way right back in it. So now this is what we have is for XRLE. We are at 2-2 down on XRLE. 2-2 down on, that's the 2-day. Let's go to the weekly. 2 down on the weekly. 2 week. A bearish 2 week. 1-3 on the 2 week. 3 week. 3 week a fail 2 up on the 3 week. Let's see, 5 week. So this just all just looks weak. All this just looks weak. So 6 week, yeah, fail 2 on the 6 week, 10 week. And for the monthly, it's 2 down on the month. So very, I wouldn't say very bearish, but bearish sentiments for real estate on that one. And last but not least, or is it? No, we still got a few more. I'm sorry. Utilities is the next one. This is the one. I think this is the other one I said I was bullish on. Yeah, I believe so. Yep. So the daily close is a 2 up on the day and 2-1-2 up on the day. The week closed as a 2 up on the, oh no it didn't, I'm sorry, it closed as a outside bar on the weekly. 2 week, there's a 3-2 continuation on the 2 weeks. 3 week, 1-2 continuation on the 3 week. 5 week looks good. 6 week, 10 week. Ooh, look at the 10 week. Did y'all see XLU on the 10 week? A double outside bullish. Two 10 week double outside bullish into a bullish 10 week. This is nice. Did y'all y'all see this? This is nice. I want to see who's seen this. If somebody, y'all watch my sector review, y'all let me know. Hey, Ash, I saw the 10-week XLU. Let me know. For the monthly, and we are already a 2 up on the month. So obviously XLU has some unfinished business to the upside, of course. XLV, oh, my arch nemesis. XLV, okay, XLV on the daily. You can mark this can be your bargaining lows here on the daily. And we can delete this. So XLV on the daily, here's your healthcare. We tapped at 129.97. Actually tapped. This is what I wanted. If y'all remember watching the sector review from last week, I wanted 131 and then I wanted 127. Is this no, this is 129. Where is one? I wanted 127. I actually wanted XLV to sweep all these lows and come from here and grab all this, but it did not do that at all, and it swept that low and then reversed up, and then now we're back down. So basically XLV is kind of doing what I'm anticipating, or the path that I have drawn out on several of these tickers, giving a pop-up and then returning back down. So let's see how this turns out. We did close as a hammer on the daily as a fail to down. We found some support at, like I said, previous month's low at 129.98. The weekly closed as a 2 down on the week after going outside bar on the previous week. You see how XLV do? It make you think, like, see, you start here. Okay, this is weak. This is where we thought, or where I thought we were gonna drop and take out the 127. Only for the next day, that Monday, for it to just reverse and go crazy and just outside week. Then the next week is, no, we're back down. So there's no telling what healthcare wants to do. It is very, as you can see right now, in this indecisive, up and down, up and down. I treat healthcare like I treat oil. You're gonna play swing at your own risk, because one day it can be up, the next day it can be down. I do remember seeing Eli Lilly having earnings sometime this week. I don't know. I can't give you the exact date, so don't quote me on it. I just know they do have earnings this week, so watch out for that. Who else in healthcare? I don't know. But you'll check that out and play healthcare at your own risk. That's all I can say. We have a 1-2 shooter down on the 2 week. It's giving bearish sentiment. All this looks bearish. 5 week, a 1-3 bearish on the 5 week. 6 week bearish. Failed to shooter on the 6 week. 10 week, inside 10 week. So you can definitely mark, if you want to be a 10 week participant, mark 129.89 and take it. Watch what happens at 127.35, and then your next target will be 122.61. For me personally, I'm not taking healthcare seriously until we get back above 137.57, which is 50% of the previous month. And speaking of the previous month, We are a fail 2 down on the current months after going outside bearish month. So hey, I got my hands up, but I'm bearish on healthcare. But like I just showed you, healthcare has a mind of its own, and it will do its own thing at any given moment. But I'm bearish. XLY. Shout out to 8 bro. I was like, I told him, I was like, man, I want XLY to just clean up all these gaps was annoying me. Look at this these gaps. It's like spaces in your teeth. Like, go get some braces. Where your Invisalign at? Like, clean this up. And it has started. We have started. Actually, it has completed cleaning that up with the gap down. So we have gap down on XLY all the way down to 214.72 and has found support here. We could, like in all the others, XLY could come back and probably 50% of the gap. We can take 50%. This is not, I'm eyeballing, but you can take either 50% of the gap or the whole gap and come back down just like that and target 209.62. So this is just a path. This is not set in stone, but it's just a general thesis of what could happen if we did not continue to push up off this 214. The weekly outside bearish week, 2 week, same, 3 week. 3 week is a fail to up, it failed to stay up, so now we're bearish on 2 week. Same for the 5 week. 5 week is a fail to up shooter. 6 week. 6 week is a bear. I mean, not bearish. It is a bullish 6 week, but we are back within the range of the week of the previous 6 week. 10 week. 10 week, same thing for the 10 week, back within the range of the week of the previous 10 week. And for the monthly, we inside month. Look where we are in the month. We closed the month. We closed last month at 221.45 and opened this month way down here. You see that? We opened this month at 216. We closed at 221 and opened at 216. So XLY could, I don't know. I'm thinking a little bit more bearish on XLY. You know, just to clean up a lot of that push up that we did get off of XLY this past month. Okay, for real, last but not least, XME, metals and mining. Our daily bread. Alright, so this is textbook CCRP, green. Here's our high, our week candle high. And now we're red. I am anticipating more downside. We did sweep this low here. There is a gap that can be filled here. Remember to adjust. We want to see more downside on XME. We can definitely come fill this gap, and we can also tap into. I had this mark. This was a bearish price target that I had. It was a weekly price target. So let's go see. It's an order block. It's a weekly order block. So 68.65 could also be a target. And of course, if we get any lower than that, I will target the previous month's high at 67.51. So 2 week, fell two up at the 2 week at the top of the burning formation. Can't get no better than that. Look at that. Oh, yes it can. I lied. Ha, a shooter at the top of a burning formation. So at least for short term, like everything else, I am, well, not everything else, but at least for short term, like the majority of these stocks, I am bearish for, at least for the short term. These mainly look, the majority of these look like pullbacks to me. These are pullbacks. And this is also your opportunity to play the short side. I mean, and then get into discount and then take it back up. So that would be it from me. All feedback, of course, is appreciated, and as always, this is always fun for me just to sit here and be able to chop it up with you guys and give you guys my thoughts on what I see, and then you give me your thoughts on what you see. So with that being said, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope everyone has an awesome trading week, and let's get to the bag. Peace.